Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of Heal That Gut, where I am showing you my journey to heal my gut after some infections that I have. So if you did not watch episode 1, go back and check it out where I explain kind of what the purpose of this is. So I am starting my adventure onto a gut healing protocol. And today I want to talk to you about what the diet is going to look like with this. And I want to make sure that I'm very clear that this is a therapeutic diet. So this is not a way of eating that can be sustained for long term. This is not a way of eating that is, a big variety and directed on health in that way. It is to clear out these infections so that I can rebuild my gut and my digestion. With this, there are a lot of different approaches that if you have done any research or looked into, there's a lot of different approaches out there to tackle something like this. And when I mentioned in episode 1 is that this is slightly broken down into sections to take care of parasites first, bacteria, and then fungal. And my diet is going to be similar all the way through, but it may adjust a little bit throughout that. And the big thing with this is that we are taking out foods that feed infections, that feed those bad guys that can come into your gut. And there can be a lot of reasons why you get infections in the first place. If your immune system is down, if you come in contact with poor food, if you have a poor diet, there's a lot of reasons. So once you have an infection too, there are certain foods that sometimes feed these guys and that they live off of. And the problem with it is a lot of times they're foods that you crave, like sugar and carbs. Those are the number one food that feed parasites and bacteria and yeasts and funguses. So we need to take out the sugars. This is what they thrive onto and what they can grow and populate and really get a stronghold in your gut. So we want to fuel and nourish our body while starving those bad guys out and creating an environment they don't want to be a part of. So I'll say quickly what I am not including. And once again, this is based off of how I know my body responds, what I have seen work for other people within my practice, what works well with clients, what I know works well with my digestion, my particular food allergies, and how I think will set me up the best for success. So my take on this diet, this therapeutic diet, is for anyone, no gluten. So no gluten and no grains. So this is going to automatically cut out a very high inflammatory food, often very processed, once again can feed those bad guys. So no gluten, no grains, no sugar, very little fruit. So obviously fruit's good for you, right? But fruit is high in sugar, and this can also feed the bad guys. So very little fruit, no alcohol. That is hard on your liver. That is already trying to clear toxins and clear these infections out. And it's also a sugar, and it lowers your immune system. No caffeine, so no stimulants. No non-organic foods, so trying to go as organic as possible and high quality foods. And little to no legumes, so no beans. This is partly based off of the digestion part of it is not being able to digest them well, and we want to take it easy. And obviously no processed foods, so trying to really avoid processed foods. But my whole takeaway thing is that we want to focus on what we can have. So we can eat healthy, grass-fed, pastured meats and sustainable seafood. So high quality meat and seafood. We can have broths, and I will go into that. So broth, raw and cooked above ground veggies. So this is like leafy greens, things that you typically harvest that are above the ground. green beans, zucchini, summer squash, things like that. And some smaller amounts of the starchy vegetables, which for me particularly are going to be sweet potatoes and plantains. Herbal tea, filtered clean water, nuts and seeds, and some fermented foods. So like non-dairy yogurt and kimchi and sauerkraut. So that is going to be what my diet is focused around. It is going to be a pretty low carb diet. So it is low carb, and that is partly because of the not feeding the bad guys with the sugars, right? So this can change a bit throughout, and I might have to make adjustments. Some people, if the carbs are too low, and especially with women, we don't want to throw off your hormones. We don't want to throw off your thyroid. We don't want to do damage. So if there needs to be adjustments with how you feel, how active you are, there can be some wiggle room there by still kind of sticking around those general guidelines. And raw is good. A lot of, protocols are going to be talking about raw vegetables and getting as much as possible. But you have to remember, if someone is suffering from a broken down gut or poor digestion, raw vegetables can be very, very tough. It can cause bloating and pain, and the person might not be able to handle them at the beginning phase of this process. So you might have to start out with more cooked foods, and that is totally okay before, you can really add in some more raw vegetables, which are, of course, incredibly important and full of antioxidants and good stuff. So what are some specific therapeutic foods that we can eat? I mentioned broth, so this is bone broth. You've heard of the craze with bone broth these days, but broth is going to be an important part of it. This is soothing to your gut, to your intestinal mucosal lining, and a good source of protein and healthy fats and those minerals that we need, that these bad bacteria are often eating up and stealing from us. So it's a good idea to get some broth in there. And there, of course, are vegan broths that you can make from seaweed as well too, if you want to go that route and switch it up. And pumpkin seeds. So pumpkin seeds are an awesome food to help fight parasites. They contain a compound called cucurbitins, got it, that can actually paralyze parasites, they say, so that you can help kill them and get them out of your body. And of course, they are full of fiber and some good fats and protein. So those are an awesome snack to have on hand during this protocol. Turmeric and ginger, we know, are very anti-inflammatory and soothing and just powerful spices, and their roots that can be brought into the diet for our smoothies or juices or broths or when we're cooking, that are going to help us heal as well. And then we have garlic. Garlic is such an incredible little vegetable. It is so powerful. It's been shown to be more powerful than a lot of antibiotics. It's extremely antibacterial and has been used for thousands of years. So a lot of raw garlic can kill things. And you do want it raw because it is going to be more potent in those compounds that will help kill the bad guys. And so crushing a raw garlic, crushing it down, and then eating it within about 10 minutes of crushing it is going to be the most effective. Maybe don't eat it quite like that. You can. But I would recommend maybe adding it into your broths or on your food afterwards. And then coconut oil. Coconut oil, the thing that's used for everything, right? Contains lauric acid, an awesome compound that is, once again, antimicrobial, helps fight infections, is soothing for your gut, gives you energy, and all those good things. I still have a very strong garlic flavor in my mouth. So those are a lot of therapeutic foods that are going to be added in. What I've been eating so far, I am, about 11 days, 12 days, something about that, into my protocol. The first week was a lot of broth. Broth, broth, broth. So much broth. And this was partly because I was feeling very nauseous. I did not have hardly any appetite getting started. And so that's something I could get down. I could add that raw garlic in. So that has been a huge part of my diet. I've started being able to eat a lot of more foods now, some non-dairy yogurt with pumpkin seeds, adding in some olives, and then things like salmon, so a good salmon, and some veggies, of course. So my diet has been simple, and that is totally okay. So right now I'm just trying to get some good foods and some nourishment in. I've lost a bit of weight, which is not a goal of mine, so I'm trying to make sure to keep that in check so I can keep my muscles that I work hard for, and not lose too much weight. And so simple meals are easy, and that's where my head is at the moment. Later on I might experiment with some more, intricate meals and recipes, but for now I'm fine playing it simple. And so once again, I might be adjusting this as I go, but those are my general guidelines that I'm going to be sticking to for the next few months. And it's going to help me heal, and I'm excited about it, and I'm already feeling a little bit over that initial hump and starting to feel better, and I'm confident that I can do this. And we'll see how it goes. If I need to make some adjustments, I will let you guys know. So if you have any questions, any comments, ask them away, and I will address them the best to my ability. And I hope you do well on your health journey, and stay tuned for the next episode coming at you soon. Thank you so much.